Hi everybody, welcome to episode 28 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I am your host Bobby and I am coming to you from New Brunswick, Canada. Today is Sunday, May the 6th, 2018. I would first like to welcome any new viewers who may be tuning into the podcast for the first time. Welcome. And to all returning viewers, welcome back. This is a podcast primarily about knitting and crocheting and a little bit of sewing. And I'm really excited this week because I actually have some sewing to show you guys. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed show. And yeah, I can't wait to show you guys what I've been making. So first I'm going to have a little bit of administration news and then we'll get on into the podcast. So first thing I want to mention, I am doing the podcast again outside and I got some pretty amazing feedback. You can hear the pretty birds. I got some pretty amazing feedback from you guys. You guys really loved it. So I'm going to try to do it outside as much as possible now that the warm weather is here. Today is about, I'm going to say 17 or 18 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit overcast, but it is beautiful. I'm very much enjoying it. Only thing is that we have some gusty winds. It's died down a lot, but I just wanted to say if there might be like some wind shear on the microphone, so if there is, I do apologize. But I'm really hoping that it's going to turn out okay and you guys can hear me. I'm going to try to keep my voice elevated again because the highway is just like right back there. You can see cars going by. So I'm going to try to keep my voice up as much as possible and hopefully the traffic and the wind ain't going to cause too much of a disturbance. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Okay, so secondly, in administration news, we have a Artisan show coming up on June the 9th. I am super excited about this. I ended up finding a post or seeing a post that Memorcook Arena is hosting an Artisan show on June the 9th, which is a Saturday. And I had seen this post about 6 hours after it was posted, and there was limited tables available, but if you were a crafter, you could totally put your request through to have a table. So I quickly sent my request through and I said that I'd had knitted and crocheted stuff to sell, and Kaylee would be joining me because she has some crocheted stuff as well. And the next morning we got the okay that we were part of the show, so we are super stoked about this. Both of us have wanted to do a market for a long time. We've been making the odd thing here and there for the Sackville market, which is about 20 minutes away from us. So now we are super excited. We're getting ready for this show in June, so there's going to be a slight shift in what I'm going to be showing here on the podcast. So I will try to keep up weekly or bi-weekly. The weekly thing shouldn't be too much of a problem now. But yeah, mostly you're not going to see the shawls or socks for at least a few weeks anyways. Those have been kind of set on the back burner so I can work on other stuff for the show, but there's still going to be content coming out, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And the other thing I wanted to touch on is there has been some flooding that's been happening here in New Brunswick, and I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Patty. Hi Patty. She has been writing to me, and she was concerned. She heard about the flooding and that's been happening down here. Now, most of the flooding has been occurring in St. John, New Brunswick and Fredericton, but there has been some extensive flooding throughout New Brunswick as well. We are very fortunate here in Westmoreland County. We have not received any. It has been raining steady for a week. However, we are pretty much high ground where we are here, so we are very fortunate. That's not something that we have dealt with. But yeah, I just wanted to let Patty and everybody else that we are okay, we are fine, and I'm definitely sending my thoughts and prayers out to all those affected by this flooding. It happens every year, and it's so sad, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for administration news. I think I'm going to move now into finished objects. So I have quite a bit to show you guys. So first thing I'm going to share with you is a pair of socks that I completed. Yes, I finally completed a pair of socks. So if I was to follow the box of socks that I'm doing, Kristen, of the Full and Vine, okay, let me start this over. Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, oh my god, she has Full and Vine yarns. She hosts a Box of Socks Cal every year, and pretty much you just knit a pair of socks a month to have a beautiful box of socks at the end of the year. So yeah, technically these are my March socks. I'm not doing too well with this, guys, but it's okay. I'm gonna do the best that I can. So I showed you guys this one last week, I believe. This is my Cyril sock by Danielle George. Danielle has the Little Bobbins podcast, and this is part of her vintage love story collection. So here it is. The yarn that I use for this is Knit Picks Hawthorne in the Newport colorway, which is beautiful brown tonal colors. And you can see this beautiful cable pattern. It's like a rib and a cable pattern. So pretty. It's got an Aya Partridge heel that was in pattern. Now the only thing that I messed up on was the toe. She has a different toe in the pattern. When I was doing the first one, I was doing it outside, and I was knitting outside in the sun on the phone. I couldn't really see what I was doing, and I was just going off of memory of what I usually do for a toe. So I end up doing, I think what they call is a rounded toe. So it's pretty basic, but that's what I end up doing. If this is not your style though, or you want to try something new, there is a different toe in the pattern. But besides that, that's the only thing I did different. I casted on 60 stitches on a 2.25 millimeter. And I do have two. I finished the second one. So I am super, super excited about this and happy. I am in love with them. They are so nice. So these will be going into my box of socks. So my hope is that the next pair of socks that I cast on is the Rita ones. I actually do have it casted on. I think I got a couple rows on it. I've been having a little bit of trouble with that one. I'm doing those on a 2.0, and I'm doing them on the Knitter's Pride Dreams, which are a wooden needle. They are beautiful. I love them, but they are a bit flexy, and I've had wooden needles break on me before, and I'm so afraid of breaking them. I don't think they will. It's just my fear. So I ordered a pair of carbons, which did come in this past week. So I'm either going to switch the needles out and continue knitting in that color, which is just like a tonal beige color, or I might change it up and do a different solid color instead, because the plain one is a little bit boring. I'm thinking that's why I haven't picked them up as well, but whatever, I'll figure it out. So yeah, that was my Cyril socks by Danielle George. You can find her patterns over on her Ravelry store. That is the Cyril sock, and she also has the Rita sock, which I just mentioned, and she also just recently released the Forever and Always socks, which is the last sock in her Vintage Love Story collection. So I highly recommend you head over there and check her out. She does gorgeous patterns, and there's a beautiful story behind the patterns as well. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And Danny is just wonderful to watch. I really love watching her podcast. So yeah. So moving on, I have two things to show you here. They're the same pattern, but I've made two of them. So just get it out here. I shared this with you guys last week on the podcast. I had a skein of Blue Moon Fiber Arts yarn in my stash for like over 4 years, and I needed to do something with it. So it is a fingering weight yarn, and unfortunately I still have not found the ball band, so I don't know what color this is, but it's beautiful jewel tone colors. So I'll just show you guys here. So here is the colorway, which is so pretty. So this is a fingering weight yarn, and I've held it double, and the pattern is Jojo's Hat by Jodi Brown. This is one of her first patterns, actually, and it is this beautiful slip stitched pattern. So I hope you guys can see it. So I ended up doing the small size. I think there's 3 sizes. I did the smaller size, which is adult, and yeah, it turned out beautifully. I really love it and enjoy it, and I did try it on. It does fit. I have a big head, so yeah, I'm in love. Yeah, I wanted to use this yarn because it's special to me, and it was going to originally be for a shawl, and I thought, I don't know if I'm really going to wear a shawl out of that, so I thought I would make a hat. I will definitely probably wear this hat. So yes, gorgeous pattern. I'm glad I chose this one. I think it really makes that slip stitch pop out. I really love it. So this is the Jojo hat by Mrs. Brown, or Mrs. Brown's Bags. You can find her and her sister Tracy. They are the Grocery Girls. I'm sure everybody knows them, but just in case you don't, I thought I would throw that out there. They have a wonderful podcast. So I went to Michael's this past week, and I picked up some yarn there. And Michael's has come out with some new yarn, I believe, because I haven't seen it before. So the yarn that I'm about to show you is the new Abby by Loops and Threads, and it is, let me see here, it's an acrylic nylon base, and the colorway that I have is number 101 in the White Lily colorway. So there's the tag, and I'm really enjoying this yarn. I love the feel of it. It is so soft, and it's got a nice stretch to it. It's just gorgeous. So they have some pretty colors, this one being my favorite. It's this creamy white that has some specks of beige, and it's got some gray or gray blue in it, and it's got these beautiful, it's not quite a sage green, but a beautiful green striping that's happening there, and it's just so pretty. And this is again the Jojo hat by Mrs. Brown. I again did the small size. Now Abby is a DK weight yarn, and I just held that single strand because it's a DK weight pattern, and I knit both hats on a 4.0 millimeter, I believe. And I had this big gorgeous pom-pom, and Jodi loves putting the big obnoxious pom-poms on her hats, and they are so cute. So this is one from Burnett. I had bought it, I wanted to try it out, so yeah, I thought it worked. Kind of overtakes the hat a little bit, but it's fun. So yeah, there's my second hat. So really in love with it. Unfortunately, Michael's only had one ball of this colorway left, so unfortunately I only have the one, but We went back yesterday, actually. Michael's was having a 55% sale, so we went back and got some more yarn, and I picked up some more of the Abbey yarn, just in some different colorways though. So in the next coming weeks, I'm sure you guys will see it, because I'm gonna try to make some more hats out of it for the show. So anyways, moving on, I did another hat. So I was watching the Hey Sister podcast, which is a relatively new to me podcast, but I really love them. They are two sisters, and they both do wonderful work. And they are also hand dyers as well, indie yarn dyers. And I really love their yarn, so do check them out and give them some love as well. So their names are, I'm still forgetting their names, it's terrible. But one of the sisters had done a really cute baby hat. It is the Hugo hat by Alison McCarney. Sorry, I'm just looking at my show notes. So this is Hugo, which is a bonnet style hat. Now for this, I still need to wet block it. So it's going to be a little finicky, but I'm going to show it to you guys regardless. So pretty much it's knit flat, and you're doing some stockinette and some tiny little baubles here. And I'm just gonna, it's folding up on you, but it's got the chin strap here. It actually has two holes. I have my button on the second one, but there's another buttonhole at the front here, just in case you wanted to make it looser. And I made a cute little pom-pom to go on the top. So I'm just going to open this up so I can show you guys better. But here it is. It is so super cute. I'm in love with this. This is the newborn to 3 month size. And like I said, it is knit flat, so you're doing the chin strap and the ribbing, and then you start the body of the hat, and then you're seaming it together up here with a 3 needle bind off. I don't think I'm giving anything away with that. If I am, I'm sorry. I don't think I am though, but yeah, it's super easy. I went to cast this on the other night, and it was so funny. It's stupid simple. It is so easy and simple. I don't know if I would call it a beginner. It could be advanced beginner just because of the baubles, but it is so simple to do, and it's written up beautifully. I love the way that she wrote this pattern up. But yeah, I was just so tired. I had gotten up at like 5 in the morning, and I had been pretty much knitting nonstop. And I went to cast this hat on, and I'm just looking at it. I casted it on and I did the ribbing, but when it came to doing like this portion here, I'm just looking at the pattern like, what do I do now? It was at this point where I'm like, okay, Bobby, just go to bed. But anyways, I highly recommend this pattern. This is the Hugo by Alison McCarney. So cute. The yarn that I used for this is just some leftover stash. I had one ball of Knit Picks, what's it called? Wool of the Andes, which is 100% Pavilion Highland wool, and it is in the green tea colorway, or green leaf heather colorway. Green tea heather, that's it, green tea heather. So yeah, it does have that rustic feel to it, but not so overly so that it would be itchy. I had considered about lining it with some fleece maybe, so that may be an option. So I don't know yet. I'm gonna wet block it and see how it softens up, because I've never blocked Knit Picks Wool of the Andes before, so I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. But anyways, here we go. Here's the Hugo hat. Really cute. So there's that one. And I have one more finished object to share with you guys. I told you, this week I've been on a roll, or the past couple weeks actually. So, just let me get it here. The next thing that I did was a blanket, a little baby blanket. I was at Michael's and they have the Karen baby cakes. So they had a lot of cute colorways, so I picked out 2 balls. Now, I'm happy with the size that I got, but I'm really wishing I had picked up 3 balls. So I'll show that to you guys in a minute, but I'm just going to say what the yarn was first. So it is the Karen baby cakes, and it is 82% acrylic, 18% nylon, and it is 100 grams, so approximately 231 yards per ball. And I got the ballerina colorway. So there's the tag, and there's the colorway there. So I really enjoyed this. This is the same morning that I got up at 5, I told you. So I had this yarn and I thought, okay, I have a show coming up, so I'm going to do a little baby blanket with this new yarn. So I decided that I was just going to do a continuous granny square. So here we go. Here is the completed blanket. So it's of a decent size. It could definitely be like a crib blanket or a stroller blanket. But I really do wish that I had that 3rd ball just to give it a nicer size, but it's okay. So this is 2 balls of the Karen baby cakes. Same colorway. I really love how the colors stripe throughout. And then I wanted to do a border. I usually put a border on my granny square blankets. So what I did was I did 3 rows of single crochet, and then I did a row of picots to finish it off. And the green color is Brunette Softy Baby. I don't know what the colorway is, but I think it's a relatively new colorway that they come out with. It's just a pretty grass kind of green. So yeah, super pretty. I really love this. So this will be for market. So that's one thing. One other thing that I did this week. So now I'm going to share with you kind of a sad project. It's a hoe that is going to have to wait for a while to be finished. So just let me get it out here. So I ended up purchasing the Something Wicked mitts, which is a pattern by Kristen. And I'm not going to pronounce her last name because I know I'm going to butcher it. So I'm just not going to say it. But Kristen is from the Yarngasm podcast in Vine Yarns. And she is a wonderful designer. And she came out with these mittens, I think a couple months ago. And I've been wanting to do them, and I finally did. So just let me get it on here. Here is the first one. And it is super pretty and super awesome. It's got this gorgeous cable. And I really hope you guys can see that okay. Super, super cute. Love it. And it is so easy to do. It's like a cabled lace of sorts. So pretty. I'm really loving it. Problem. It calls for 95 yards to 140 yards of a DK or a worsted weight yarn. So again, I was going through my stash and I had a ball of Nitpick Swish in the Garnet Heather colorway, and it's 110 yards of a worsted weight yarn. The needle size that Kristen calls for is a 3.75. I was using a 3.25. There are various sizes. I cast it on for the medium size, I think, which was my downfall because I ran out of yarn. So that's the sad part. I have a hoe, I have one mitt, but unfortunately, and I'm just going to show it half in my cozy here, but I ran out of yarn at this. So I got it casted on, and I have one more row of increases to do for the thumb gusset, and then another repeat of the cabled lace, and I would have been done. And the top ribbing, of course, but yeah. So sad. So I'm gonna have to wait and make another Knit Picks order. Doesn't this sound familiar? Sister Shawl? Yeah, same thing. Oh well, it's okay. I took the yarn and I weighed the mitt when it was finished because my ball was looking small, and it looked like I wasn't going to have enough, but my scale lied to me. It weighed the mitt in at 12 grams, I think it was, and yeah, it said I had like 15 grams left of yarn. I don't know what happened, but either way, I ran out of yarn, so it's gonna have to be put on hold, and yeah, but that's okay. I have more yarn. I'm going to probably cast another pair on this week and do them, so yeah. Unfortunate, but I really love the pattern, so it's definitely worth making again and again. So again, these are the Something Wicked mitts by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast. So, yay! So there's that one. Now I have one work in progress to share with you, since we are kind of moved on into works in progress. And I am really excited about this one, guys, because I pulled out my sister shawl and I got a little bit more work done on it. So I'm just gonna try to pull it out of the bag here without dropping everything. So, yes, you guys know this sad story to this one too, and if you're new, I did the my sister Cal, which was a mystery mystery knit along from Cozyupdesigns. They have the Cozy Up with the Stitch and Sisters podcast, and yeah, they came out with this beautiful shawl pattern, and it was a mystery knit along, and I was doing so well with it. So I will show you what I did. So I haven't showed this in a while, but you start by doing, I think it's called a Turkish cast on, or Judy's Magic cast on. You do a version of that, and then you knit down this side of the shawl. So it's kind of like, it's like a wrap style, and then you work your decreases down to the point, so to here. Hope I'm showing that okay. So once you're done that, you pick up this side of the stitches because it's like on another set of needles, and then you work down the other side. So I got down to this point here of my lacy zags, and I had 2 more rows plus another full repeat of the lace to do, and I ran out of this blue color. So I had to set it aside, and a couple weeks later I did get the yarn for it, but I just kind of lost my steam with it. It's not that I didn't love the shawl. I love the shawl so much, but you know how it goes. New shiny things come out, you get them casted on, and then you only want to work on those, and it's so hard to pick up, you know, what you were working on before. But regardless, I ended up picking this back up. Cozyupdesigns, they've come out with so many beautiful patterns. There's the Katie shawl and the Jamie shawl. The Chrissy shawl just come out, and the Sarah shawl is about to come out soon, I hope. She's working on it now. If you're not aware, they are 4 sisters from Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada, and I love them so much. They are my favorite podcast. So yeah, they're designing a shawl after each sister's name. So it's a shawl with stuff in it that they love. So yeah, and they're also doing a year-long knit along for the name shawls as well. But anyways, so yeah, I got my blue and I finished off my lacy zags, which is this beautiful lace pattern, and I started fading in my tonaled speckle color here, and yeah, I'm almost done, guys. I don't have that much more to go, because if you were to go over to this side of the shawl here, if I can get myself untangled, I am pretty much here. So I have some more eyelets to work, some more fading, and then I go back to my brown color and cast it off. So it's close, guys. It is so close. So yeah, super excited that I was able to pick this back up and get some work on it. The hard work is done. The lacy zags are done. They aren't that bad. They really aren't, but you do have to concentrate. So, but yeah, it's nice. And I have my little teacup here. It will turn. This is from Cozyupdesigns. I hope I'm saying that right. She has a store on Etsy, and she sells these beautiful charmed progress keepers and stitch markers. Spoke about her a lot. I've gotten a lot of my stitch markers from her. I love her stuff, so yeah, go check her out. So that's the only works in progress that I'm going to show this week. I have been working on something else, but I'm going to save that for next week, just because I think this podcast is already fairly long. So I'll just save that for next week. So yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. Probably should have done this at the beginning of the podcast, but I didn't. I am wearing my Adeline shawl. This is by the Sweater Babe. So I finished this one, I think this was several weeks back. And it's just this beautiful shawlette type pattern. And sorry about that. Got this beautiful garter stitch, and then you go down into the lace. Fortunately, I couldn't complete the lace. I ran out of yarn, but still love it. It's so pretty. I love it. Yeah, I've never had anything knitwear to actually show you guys, so yeah, so proud of this one. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys one more thing and then I will sign off. I actually got some sewing in this week, like I said, and I'm super excited about that. So I ended up getting some fabric from Walmart, and I just want to practice on my sewing again. I have sewed since I was 16. However, I seem to have lost my steam on it, and knitting is primarily my thing, and I had forgot a lot of stuff, so I just wasn't in the right frame of mind, shall we say, to do it. So anyway, I dusted off my Singer sewing machine last weekend, and I am so proud of this. I made a project bag, and I will link to the pattern below. It was a YouTube tutorial that I followed, but it's so simple. It's a zippered bag. It's got a little tab here, and it is lined, and I did it right this time. I got the seams hidden, and inside, just improvised myself. I had some yarn fabric left over, so I just did a little yarn sack for put your yarn in. So it's the same thing. Only thing I forgot to do was top stitch it, but I'm not going to be too worried about that. That's fine. It is boxed bottom as well, just like the project bag. So this fits a skein of fingering weight yarn. I don't know if it could fit anything heavier, but yeah, so happy and proud. These are lined, so it's got that real quilty effect to it. So in love with it, and I'm definitely going to buy more. I got some more zippers, and I got some more threads, so hopefully soon I will have more project bags to share with you guys, and possibly put some up in an Etsy store to sell. I don't know yet. So anyway, that's my sewing project for this week. And I'm going to quickly do this before my battery dies on my phone, because it's about to. But I have a little bit of stash enhancement this week, and I am super excited. I signed up for the Alison Barnes Fibre Fix Club last month, and I got the April box. So if you have signed up for it and you haven't gotten yours yet, do look away, because I'm about to share with you what I got. But here's the beautiful box. Now you can either get one skein or 4 skeins. You can choose between the main color and like a tonal color, I think it is. I end up getting the main color and a tonal. So here's her card with all her info, which I will link below. And she writes a nice little note. And I just love how she packaged it. It's so pretty. So I'm just going to kind of go quick because I don't want my phone to cut out here. But I ended up ordering my Knitter's Pride carbons from her, the 2.0s. And here is the beautiful yarn. Isn't that pretty, guys? And that is very true to color. So this was April's color for her yarn collection. This is April 2018 yarn color of the month, and it is in the Seaside colorway. So we got these creamy colors, we got some aquas and some brown. And look at this gorgeous speckling, guys. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. So pretty. And there's the tag. Love it. So this is on her basic sock base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 420 yards. And this one is the same, and this is in her Morning Mist colorway, which is this beautiful minty green. So pretty. Love it. So I don't know what this is going to be yet. These might be my Rita socks. I don't know. But just love them. So yes, this was definitely a treat. Don't think I'll be doing it every month. I definitely did not do it this month. But yeah, that was just a really nice treat to myself. So yeah. So I'm going to sign off for now before my camera dies. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. You can find show notes below in the description box, as well as over on our Ravelry group at Inspiredknittingpodcast. You can find me on Instagram. I post mostly there, so you can find me there as Inspired Knitting Podcast. You can follow me on Ravelry as xcountrygirl1986x. And if you wish to reach out to me, I would suggest doing it through Ravelry. That would be the best. But if you wish to send me an email, my email is sweetcomfortdesigns@gmail.com. All the stuff you can find in the description box below. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. I love talking with you guys. It is so nice getting to know you. And if you are in New Brunswick, don't hesitate to come out to the show in Memricook on June the 9th and say hello to us. I would love to meet you guys and see you guys. That would be so amazing and awesome. I will talk about that more in the upcoming weeks anyways, but yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. I love hearing from you guys. Don't be shy. So yeah. Until next week, I hope you guys have an awesome one. I hope it's nice and sunny and warm where you are, and you can have lots of crafting fun. So until then, guys, have a good one and happy knitting. Bye.